Hello everyone and welcome back to IG8Live Esports. It has been quite a while since we actually done a stream. I think somewhere between 5 to 6 months according to information I have on YouTube anyway. Either way, we are back from this point onwards and we're on with NOMEX Racing for their Monday F2 division here at China here at the moment. So it should be quite an interesting session. We got 11 drivers in, not anything too crazy going on. And I'll see some drifting on track at the moment there during qualifying. So session as it is, it's going to be a full qualifying session with 30 minutes in it. And then we're going to go to a sprint race, then the feature race afterwards, as the usual F2 formats in the leagues usually go. So a pretty interesting track here at Shanghai. So I haven't actually driven this track in quite a while actually, even on this game. So it should be interesting to see what the race is gonna be like here. Do remember the track pretty well in terms of the layout. Not overly familiar with the turn numbers, but I think we'll get through that quite easily as we get into the session. As it is, we're on with Cave Meister at the moment on a qualifying lap. We'll see what the lap times are going to be as they start to come in pretty shortly. As I think we currently only have 2 drivers out on track. We got Ace now heading out on an out lap there. We'll see what that's going to be like in just a few minutes time, and we should start to have some lap times in, see how competitive the guys are in the F2 cars around China here. Kind of demanding on tires, so I want to see what that's going to be, how that's going to be affecting them in the race itself when they get started with that. Make for a little interesting competition getting through sector 1 when they get the race started as well. For here at China, they run into turn 1, pretty short run, and then it's a bit of a winding turn into turns 1, 2, and then to getting through into 3. So we'll see who's gonna be handling that a bit better, because some of these guys are going to go on the inside, some might take it on the outside, just spread a long way around to avoid contact down on the inside and probably avoid a spin as well. But yeah, it should make some interesting racing here at China. Let's see how well they all get through with it. Just waiting to get through qualifying here at the moment. We're about on track as well. We do have the map up at the bottom so we can see where the guys are at any given point. And let's see, we do have a lap time in front of Cave Meister here. Didn't invalidate that. That's a 146.4. Seems to be a pretty good lap so far. Let's go on with biology here. I think he is, where is he on track at the moment? They're getting through sector 3. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like. Did not invalidate so far, so should hopefully get a pretty good lap. That final turn is one to be very cautious of in terms of qualifying, but so far so good, not too bad. We got about a 2-second gap between them. It's a 148.0 for Farrell at the moment. Let's see who's going to be next to get a lap time in. So far not too bad with their first attempt at getting their qualifying time in. Remember, at the end of this session we go straight into the sprint race and then into the feature race just after that, so shouldn't be too long before we actually get to see some racing on screen here. So let's see how well the entire session should go on through. Remember guys, it has been quite a few months since I've actually done this, so let's see how bad it's gonna go. Either way, so far so good. For everyone joining on the stream, welcome to the stream everyone. Please do remember to leave a like on the stream before you guys leave. And we have not, as usual, we usually have this live on Facebook and Twitch as well. It's not on that, I've just put it live on YouTube for now. I think we're just gonna keep it that way at the moment, just to see what is going to go on. So we got a purple sector 1 of the current qualifying lap here from Ace. Let's see where he goes with this. So far so good from what he's putting through here at the moment. Let's see if he can carry it through to sector 2. Sector 2 not usually too bad in terms of getting a pretty good time in, but oh, and there goes Cave Meister getting an even better time now, a 145.4, beats his own time by a second here, almost a second. So far so good from him, just trying to keep on top of it. I think getting through towards the end of the session, because 30 minutes, it does go by pretty quickly. Let's see where Ace and Rab are going to put their car on this. We got 2 more drivers on outlaps there at the moment. And yes guys, here at China there is an extremely long back straight through sector 3 there with a very tight hairpin turn, getting around to that, so the guys are gonna have to be careful with that. It does provide for some interesting racing in terms of who has better straight line speed, and Ace goes out in the second so far pretty good, 145.434, just about 100 of a second off the time of Cavemeister, so already getting a bit competitive in terms of qualifying times. Not too bad so far. Let's see where they take this at the end of the session. We still got some time to go, and I think we're gonna follow on with someone. Where is West on track? So I think he's getting through pretty well. Let's see if you can put the high-tech car in a pretty good qualifying position at the end of this current lap that he's on there right now. And have a bit of an onboard view. This is getting through into sector 3 right here, and to get around to that back straight. Pretty slippery here when this track is wet, I can tell you that right now. I've driven it or driving wet, and it's quite interesting to have a race on. As I said, I haven't raced here in like quite a while, and I haven't been online for quite a few months, so it's going to be interesting for me as well to see how this race pans out itself out in terms of drivers and their setups on these cars. A little bit on the inside, getting off that turn. Let's see how he handles the final turn, getting around. A bit cautious on it, trying not to go too wide and invalidate that lap. Doesn't want to risk that at this point. Here goes third fastest so far here in qualifying at 147.2. Not too bad. Let's see where Smith is on track. We know Rap's still trying to get a time in there at the moment. See some of the cars pulling to the right side, not going as fast there. Probably on an outlap. At the moment, we do have Panda and Farrell's on another outlap. Well, Panda on this first outlap, I believe, for him there, as he's now going to try to get a time in. Farrell's already with a time of 148.0, but does need to improve on that, because we do see like it's going to get a bit faster on track here into the 145s and 146 possibly. So let's see how well they go through with that. There goes Smith now, fastest in the session so far. It's a 144.0. and tops out Cavemeister by at least 1.4 seconds, so not too bad with his qualifying time so far. Doing pretty well on that. So let's see where Panda is at this point in time. He's about to get started on this lap here. Probably do an onboard view with him as he gets through the starting straight here, and then straight into turns 1, 2, and 3. And as we go, most of these guys will try to pull it off on the inside, as he just did. Try to keep it around tight around the going around, just to avoid any contact on the outside as well, which might tend to happen. When drivers tend to go on the outside, try to avoid contact as well. We'll see how well this race goes when it gets started. Quite interested to see what's going to happen, because even though it's just 11 of them, going to get a bit interesting. They're all going to be pretty packed up together. It was a good overtaking opportunity into that turn there as well, getting now into sector 2. That was a purple sector 1, by the way, from Panda. Let's see if he can carry it through to sector 2 and possibly get within the top 3 by the end of this qualifying lap, which he potentially might actually get to do here. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. Got a 4 driver still in the pits, well 3 now, as Ice1 is now getting out for his outlap here. Let's see what his time is going to be. I've seen him race quite a few times. I've seen most of these drivers race before. A few of them I'm still new to, so let's see what the competition is going to be on track. I did have a quick view of the current standings as it was. No memory of it at the moment, but we'll have that up on screen from the next stream next week going onwards. Here we get a chance to get that set up, so apologies for that, but let's see what's going to happen as you get on through a heavy braking zone into this chicane, getting around, and yep, very tight around that here. You have to be careful as well not to lose the rear end of the car as you get off that turn, because it's so easy to do, and then that's going to be the entire lap just gone. I don't think he got a purple sector 2, so he's up into P4 146.0. Not too bad so far. Let's see who was currently running a lap here. We got Lancer, I think, about to finish his lap, he says. Yep, and he goes P5 146.2. It's about 2/10 of the time that Panda currently has. So far so good in terms of qualifying here. We got about 18 minutes still left, just over half of the time, and I think we're doing pretty well so far. Got 7 drivers with their lap times in. Vinci Raf still in the pit. Got Ice One and Velen out on track, trying to get some times in and see where they're gonna be. Looks like Cave, Meister, and Ace are back out again on out laps though. Let's see, they're trying to improve their time, I assume here, because the two of them only separated by 100th of a second at the moment. Smith out in front of them by at least 1.4 seconds, so he probably feels a bit safe at that lap time there. Let's see, he might also try to improve that. Has enough time left in the session, so definitely will try to improve that if the track does start to get a bit faster again there. So let's see how well the session progresses down to the end. As we know, qualifying, as you get down close enough to the end of qualifying, these cars tend to start producing some faster lap times and get a bit more competitive in terms of how that starting grid is going to be set up. So it's going to be interesting. Still got a few drivers left to get into this, and we got current drivers are getting some better times, and let's see where they're going to be at the end of this. Ice One currently on a lap. We're going to switch over to that. That's a purple sector 1 so far. So far so good for him there. Hello gamer, yes, I am back. It's good to be back on stream, and hopefully we can continue this as a usual thing as we used to have it before. At one point we used to stream, I think, every single day. I think multiple streams sometimes for a day. I mean, it's not going to be that much at this point here right now. We got a lot going on here at home, but yeah, we're going to definitely get back to streaming quite a bit more. And not just F1, probably some other stuff as well, just for the fun of it. But yeah, definitely getting back to some league racing with the commentary. So a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. I just got to sit here and just look at the screen and talk, so quite easy for me. These guys actually gotta focus and yeah, keep their heads down during the qualifying session and the race itself. Make sure they don't crash the car out. Actually, still got Ice One currently finishing off this lap. I don't think it was the purple sector 2. I really didn't pay attention to that. Let's see where he goes by the end of this. Getting a bit close on that curb. And goes second fastest. Not a bad lap there from Ice One. Pretty good so far. 144.44 tenths off the time what Smith currently has. So Smith still currently fastest driver here we have in the qualifying session for the start of this F2 sprint race. So far provisional pole for him. Let's see if he can keep that going through the entire session and possibly get a start on pole. Gonna be an interesting one as well. Here starting at China, wanna be out in front, because down in the midfield and down at the back you do tend to get a bit choked up, a bit bunched up going into turn 1. So might actually help being out in front. Hopefully gets a good getaway on the starting grid though. Otherwise that's going to prove to be a bit of a difficult one. Where is failing on track? I don't think he got a time in as yet. And yep, definitely trying to get one in right now on the back straight here in sector 3, trying to finish off this lap. Let's see where he goes by the end of this. Has no traffic to deal with. Should be getting around pretty well. A bit conservative through that final turn there as well, and actually gets the fastest time in. Pretty impressive at 143.7. We finally got someone else on provisional pole here at the moment for the start of the sprint race. Alien has done it just under halfway in the session. We'll have a look at how much time is actually left in just a bit, if we can. I'm trying to go down to Rab here and see where he is at the moment with his qualifying lap, and it's about 14 minutes left in the session. Not too much time, but yeah, I think I'm gonna get through it pretty quickly, get to some racing, and I think that's what we're all here for at the moment anyway. But we do have to go through qualifying. Sometimes it's a bit more interesting than we all think it's gonna be, and so far it's been quite interesting. The lap times have the gaps in the lap times have started to close up pretty smoothly as we've gone through the session. Bit spaced out as we started, but a bit better as we're getting through right about now. Fastest time 143.7, slowest time 146.9, and these are F2 cars by the way, guys, so take that into account, not F1. And we're only separated by about 3 seconds between P1 P9, so not too bad. I think we're doing decently well. Let's see if we can keep that going through the session. Rob should be finishing off this lap here, and let's see where he's going to be at the end of it. Remember, the F2 car is not as fast as the F1 car, still difficult to control depending on what settings you're actually using in the game itself. That's a 147.3, not the best of lap there, but it's going to put him down to the 10th for now. Vinci without a lap time, currently to start in 11th. Let's see if he's going to get any lap times in, or possibly be left right there. They're going to switch this back over to Smith here at the moment. He's on an out lap right about now, trying to get a better time in to get back on provisional pole for the start of the session. Let's see if that's going to work out for him or not. And guys, we're just under 13 minutes left in the qualifying session. We got Valen there on provisional pole with a 143.7. Smith currently second fastest here. We got Ice1 currently third. Kind of looking to start fourth on the grid. We still got a lot of time though left, so we'll see what's going to happen. Caveman is still fifth. We got Ace currently out of the session. Not sure what happened to him, but he is now stuck in sixth on the starting grid, and that could change if drivers below him do get a faster time. We got West there in 7th, Lancer in 8th, Biology out of the session, Rob there in 10th, Vinci no lap time in. Let's see what's going to happen as we get further on in this. We got Smith about to get started on another lap here with just under 12 minutes left to go. More than enough time to actually get about 2 more laps in the session before qualifying is actually over. So I think they're cutting it pretty close in terms of qualifying time. Valen do a pretty good lap time, 143.7. Not too far off where Smith is. See how these two handle as it is there at the moment. But in the 145s is where I think most of the drivers stand here at the moment. Yeah, doing pretty well with that. So let's see how the rest of the session goes on through. And thanks to Ice1 for following us on Twitch. Did show up on the stream settings side here. We will be going live on Twitch as well pretty soon, but at least for the first stream, I'm keeping it just on YouTube here at the moment, just to work at any possible kinks we got still in the setup as it is, because I had to reset everything. So I'm not sure if anything is off. I'll have to look back at the stream as well later on to make sure everything did actually go pretty well. And that's an invalidated lap there, as we can see for Smith. So he's gonna have to try that one again, possibly on that same set of tires. We'll see what's going to happen. And of course, everyone using the soft tires here in the qualifying session. 10 minutes left to go. It's only a 30-minute session. I they're going to go try to start the race on yeah, we might have that actually happening though. Let's see what's happening with that. So everyone on this off so far, as we can see, and I think we're going to keep it that way. So let's continue on in qualifying. Looks like Vince is finally out on track to get started on the qualifying lap. Let's see how that lap is actually going to go as he now gets started there, off on the starting grid into turn 1. So with that, guys, back again. So most of our drivers, I think they're finished here with qualifying. We got just at least half of them at least probably left in the qualifying session, and let's see where they're going to be. Valen, of course, holding on to provisional pole still in this session, hasn't retired as yet. A 143.7. He think he's trying to see if that's going to hold, or if he does need to come out and get another lap in, because Smith definitely still might be trying to improve his time in terms of getting a faster lap time in. Ice1 currently holding on to third fastest. They're not a bad position to be starting in on the second row of the grid. Could pretty much get himself into P1 or P2 by the time they get through sector 1 itself. So we'll see how that works out. That Panda there should be starting fourth if things hold up as it is. And there goes Vinci now, pushing him down to fourth. pushing Ice1 down to 4th as he now takes over P3 at 144.1, getting pretty competitive in the 144s here as well. And yeah, what's gonna happen? Pretty good so far in terms of qualifying, I gotta say, guys. Half of our drivers are out of qualifying, but just 8 minutes left. We do have a few drivers left, and I think it's gonna be a bit interesting to see what's gonna happen in terms of the fight for provisional pole for the start of this F2 race here. Because Valen holding on to it so far, sitting in the pits, just having a look at what Smith is doing out on track here, and yeah, Smith definitely going for it still. Want to see if he's going to get a better time or not. Doesn't look like he had a purple sector 1. I'm quite sure Valiant having a look at that there right about now on his side of the garage. They're just making sure that he's going to be able to keep that provisional pole. Vinci down there in 3rd. Might think he have a shot at this and might try to get a second lap in. I think he actually might even have time to get a new set of tires on if he needs to. If he does want to actually fight for this here. Yep, and Ace retiring to save his tires, which I think most drivers have actually done there. But of course, we do have some of our drivers here are going to be fighting for position. I'm not sure if he's out of fuel here. Potentially out of fuel, trying to get back into the pits here at the moment. So guys, they only fuel the he's running in 2nd gear. Either saving his tires there or just out of fuel. They only fuel the cars for so many laps here on track during a qualifying session, so we do have that issue where drivers will run out of fuel. As I got sure, I think he's out of fuel. I think he got that one down to right. And we got Valen out on track again on another out lap, so definitely trying to get a better time in just in case he doesn't want to take a chance with this. We got Vinci and Ice1 back into the pits, so is Meister there. West, of course, still on track. I want to see if he's trying to get a faster time in here. What is he up to at this point in time? Also, guys, there's a bit of a different setting I've applied to the mic that we use here for comm streams so far, commentary streams. So I'm not entirely sure how the audio is coming through on the stream. If it's better than it used to be, if it's worse than it used to be, I'm really not sure. So I'm gonna have to listen back to it because I've tested it everything on for a stream before, but I haven't tested it after applying the new settings to the mic. So I'm actually interested to see what it's going like. Let me just have a look on Streamlabs, see what's happening in terms of that there. So far so good. I think it's going in the right into the right area, into the right zone as we're just gonna have a look at that in a minute when these guys finish up qualifying. I'm trying to see if I'm further away from the mic or if I'm closer, if it's actually the same thing. And so far it seems to be the same as we get on through this, so I think I can actually sit it's a bit further away. Because I'm gonna be further away if I'm doing a personal stream as well, so I wanna see what that's gonna be like. So far so good from Ace there, so hopefully everything should be fine as it is. I mean we had a pretty good sound quality from what we had before, but there were just a few little things I wanted to improve, and which we're still going to try to improve as we get on through continue streaming as well. So you see what's going to happen. As I said, there is a webcam attached to the stream setup, but it's not currently connected and being used in this sort of stream. I bought it for a different purpose, so we're going to use it soon, but not as yet. Let's get through this. Who are we following at the moment? Ice1 at the moment here. Did he get a better time in? No, still P4, 144.4. Possibly trying to get a better time in now. So I just want to keep on with him, see what that's going to be like. Smith out of the session, retired off that. I gave up trying to get a faster time in, but a pretty close gap between him and Valen there for the version of pole. It's just about a, it's literally a 10 between them. 110 between us. Let's see how that's going to go off in terms of the race start itself. And yes, guys, as Ace is mentioning there, we are starting a bit of a partnership here with NOMEX Racing in terms of the league itself. This is why on the channel you'll see a little bit a different sort of banner is on there. More about information about that will be coming to you guys as we get further into these streams. And yeah, I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on. And with F122 just around the corner, I think just a few weeks away, it's already the 13th of the month and it's coming out in the month. So we're getting everything, but I think every league is actually getting set up and trying to get started with their new seasons into the new game itself. And we'll see how that's gonna go, but we'll put some more information out on the channel as well, and we'll be talking a bit about it on stream as we go over the next few weeks to just facilitate what exactly we're going to be doing here on IG8Live Esports with NOMEX Racing as a bit of a partnership as well. What's happening here? We're off track. It's looking at things might say actually the way that it is here right about now. How much time do we have left in qualifying? I'm trying to have a look at that. And there we go. So 2 minutes left here, and looks like Kate Meister will be able to start that final lap. Interesting brake duct down on the rear of the car there, as you can see. I don't think I've actually ever had a shot of one of the cars with a brake duct on the rear wheel here on the trim before, or maybe I've never actually noticed it. It's actually the first time I'm actually noticing that there. It looks pretty interesting. Not too bad actually. So far so good, guys, in terms of the stream, in terms of how everything is. As I've said, we haven't done this in about 5 to 6 months. Trying to get back on track with this and see how well we can get everything going. Just about finished here at qualifying. Looks like it is going to be Valen starting on pole here. Smith looks like he's going to have to start second. Looks like Vinci is going to finish out the top 3 for this. Let's see if they're going to finish the race, sprint race, in that order. Or what's going to be the difference in terms of when we get around to 11 drivers of the session. We're about to get into a sprint race, and then just after that we go into the feature race. It's actually been quite a while since we've actually done an F2 stream as well. We always mostly focus on the F1 streams, F1 leagues, divisions, and getting through with that. We used to do an F2 stream every Tuesday, but that was quite a while ago. I can't even remember when the last one was that we did. So we do have a bit of experience actually going through F2. I've driven the F2 cars as well. They're quite just a bit different from the F1 cars here in the game. In that it's a bit slower, but still in terms of handling, you gotta just get a bit of a grip on it, just depending on what settings you're actually driving with those. So it's always interesting to see how they set that up. I think everyone is looking forward to see what the handling model is going to be like on the new game when that comes out as well, because it's set to be quite a bit different from what we had here. Of course, this is different from what we had on the previous year back on F1 2020. Everything was different for F1 2019 as well. We'll see how well they actually set everything up when we do get to that. But yeah, let's finish our qualifying here. I think we're finished with it already. I think we're just waiting for I think Valen is the only car here that needs to retire out the session and just get back into the pits, and we can then just go straight into the sprint race. And let's get started with that. May 2021, the last one. Oh, that was the last stream that we did. This is June. Oh, the last F2 stream that we did, I think he meant. Because I know the last stream we did was just a few, between 5 to 6 months. So it's literally been just over a year since we've actually done an F2 stream. Quite interesting. I didn't actually think it was that long. Interesting note. Used to be a bit of a runoff area when you get around to the pit lane entrance here. Hamilton once went off. I think that was back in 2008 when he was fighting for the championship. I think it was just after that they actually paved that part over. I'm not sure when it was, but yeah, I know there used to be a runoff area there. I'm not sure when they actually did that. I think they actually still had it a while after. We were going off there as well. I think it was in F1 2013 or F1 2014. That's quite old. That was years ago. But alright, so that's the end of qualifying, guys. Let's have a look. what we're gonna have coming up next year. So straight into the sprint race. Let's see. Do we have results coming on as well? I forgot how this goes. Either way, if it doesn't show up, I think you guys saw what was on stream there as well. Okay, so here we go straight into the sprint race here. Got 11 drivers in this. Should be quite an interesting session. I'm not sure if you guys think all 11 are going to finish this race. I'm not counting on it, but let's see what's going to happen because turn one can get a bit messy. I think we'll have a better understanding of how these drivers go along the race after the sprint race itself. We'll see what's going to happen in the feature race. But yeah, points for both races. And yeah, let's see how well the start is going to go. Going to be a bit interesting and just a bit dependent on the start of the race itself to see what happens in the rest of it. Who's going to be a bit cautious going into that turn and who's going to just, you know, go for it. Definitely who's out front is going to want to go for it and just try to keep themselves in the positions that they're actually starting in, or even get a better position if they can. Let's see what's going to happen as we are now waiting for them to get started. And it's on the formation lap. They're going, thank God, to bring a formation lap because I usually try to get this stuff started here. And let's see what we're gonna, how do we usually do this. So we're keeping lap data on. Telemetry, we are not gonna put that on. I've really never used this during streams. I don't like having it at the bottom there. Tires we usually keep on, but not during the race. During the start of the race itself. We're gonna take that all off. Everyone's currently on the mediums. They get started on the race, and of course they're gonna switch to the softs at some point in the session if they need to. It's a 12 lap race here for the sprint race, for the F2 race getting started. And yep, definitely going to be interesting as they get around the track here on the formation lap. This is of course just to get the tires warmed up and up the temperatures to facilitate the start of the race. Avoid too much wheel spin when they do get started with it, because they do need a certain level of grip. Get all of that off screen at this point here, and yeah, we'll wait for them to get around. So as it is, guys, we can't go through the starting grid at this point here. So we got this is the way it is, I'm not even sure. Okay, so Biology starting P1, we got Lancer starting second, West starting third, we got A starting fourth, Meister starting fifth, Panda starts sixth, Ice 1 and 7, Vinci will start 8th, Smith starting ninth, Vaden starts 10th, and I guess that's a reverse from what we had there in qualifying. I didn't look up everything in terms of the format. All this, and Rab will be starting 11th as he was out of the top 10. So far so good at that. Let's see as they get around the final sector of the track here. As you can see, a lot of weaving going on. Just trying to get these cars, get the tires up to temperature, get the brakes up to temperature as well, because if they have cold brakes, that's not going to work out too well in terms of trying to brake themselves into turn one. Could end up into the back of another car, which definitely is not going to go on too well. Okay, so we're about to reform the grid here. Let's go on with Rob down at the back here, and yep, he's gonna be a final car to get into his grid slot before we do get this race on the way. Once again, guys, thanks for everyone who's joining on the stream. Please remember to leave us a like on the stream, and feel free to share it if you'd like to. Of course, remember we do go live on Twitch and Facebook as well, but mainly it's gonna be here on YouTube. And a few more things we'll have to add on as we get on through. Okay, we're about set and ready to go. Let's see how badly this start is gonna go. How good this is gonna go. Never know what's gonna happen. I haven't seen these guys race in quite a while, and I haven't seen every one of them race before, so we're just waiting to see what the start is going to be like. And yep, the grid order was getting a bit messed up there for a second, but I think we're good. We're just waiting now. Alright, we got 5 lights on, and I think they're just about ready to go as they're off. Pretty good start so far from Biology, and looks like Lancer gets a pretty good run. He gets up into P1. Biology is now down in a position. Their Ace trying to get up into third. Let's see if he holds on to that. Lancer out pretty out, but out in front as the midfield of the grid getting a bit bunched up, and we got a bit of contact going through into turn 2 there. I think everyone's coming through pretty well from that, but we might have some minor damage, or possibly maybe just some penalties being applied later on in the session if needed for that there. But so far so good as they all get on through. opening lap here. As I think we can see some of these guys trying to pull off some moves as they get on through, but not close enough to actually get it done. But so far so good. It was a pretty good start here for an F2 race here at China. Remember guys, as I said, tires are gonna be a bit, let's say they're gonna struggle a bit with tires on this track here as they get around with it. I think was it the left side or was it the right side? I can't remember which side it was, but yeah, definitely does hurt tires a bit getting through. Now Lancer now looking for the lead of this race. Fauci is down to second. Ace running third now as it is West currently in fourth. We got Panda in fifth. Rob is out of the session. What happened to him? I'm not sure we're going to be able to see what actually happened to his car there. So I think that's going to be left out of this. So it's a DNF for him here in the sprint race. No points at all. No chance of even getting a points as it is there right now. Let's go on board with Fiality there. And we're on with a virtual safety car for VSC here in the session. And it's on the opening lap. About, I think that car probably stuck on track or stuck somewhere where it's not supposed to be. Hopefully the marshals can get that clear before the cars get back around there to wherever he went off. I'm not sure where it was, but I seen it probably was somewhere between sector 1 and sector 2. Obviously it should be as it is there. Let's have a look at what changed here during the session so far. So we're getting into lap 2 right about now, still under our VSC. Lancer there gained the position for LG down 1. I think we're back racing already. Let's have a look because Ace here is pretty close off the Fidelity there for a second. We got West chasing after him to get into another position there as well. Of course, Panda just behind of that. Let's see what's happening as they get around. And looks like Ace takes the inside. Got 2 cars behind of him though. As looks like I think Panda's trying to get. He's trying to get around West, but unfortunately, he's currently in 5th only as he gets through this. Take this off and leave it at that there right about now. Though we don't need to know what's going on with that. Looks like Smith already into the pits. I want to have a look, see what's going on with him so far as he gets back out on track. I think he had front wing damage from contact on the opening lap. He's already taken a pit stop. Let's see how that strategy is going to actually work for him as we get on through this. Let's go back here in the top 3 at the moment. Out in front, Lancer definitely leading this race by quite a bit. 2.9 seconds. He's out in front. We got Ace trying to get up into second place. As let's see, he does try to get it. Actually gets the position done. He's going to be able to hold on to it as Fialchi is going to find him back for it at the moment there though. As let's see on board. Goes a bit wide around that turn, tries to get it back in line, and he's going to hold off on it for now on the back straight as they are. Got a yellow flag in sector 3 there at the moment. Got West creeping up on Fialchi at the moment here. He might try going down into the hairpin, and let's see if that's actually going to work for him or not. It actually worked. He's up in the third. We got Fialchi has lost 2 positions here now as he might try to get it back. Let's see if it's going to work for him though. We got Vinci there trying to get up position on Panda at the moment. Not sure how possible that's going to be at this point here. He is pretty close out to 2/10 is what the gap is. We now have TRS coming online as we get into lap 3. But so far so good with this race, I gotta say. Just 1 driver out of 11, and I think we got everyone else going pretty well. We get a few close gaps to deal with here at the moment. Cave Master is now catching up to Vinci as well, who is still keeping up with Panda there for 5th position. Let's see how that's going to work out between these two, because we do have Cave Master coming up pretty close. Lost about the 2/10s there on that break. This braked a bit too much, I guess. I think he was trying to keep out to the rear of Vinci's car. Out in front, Ace holding on to second place. It's 2.7 seconds is what the gap is. The Lancer out in front. Let's see if he's able to break that down and possibly catch up to him. He's down to 2.6 already. He might be doing a pretty good job. Let's see what that's working out. But we do see that gap just dropping as we get through the lap there. West, of course, chasing after Ace. He's only a second behind, trying to keep within the DRS range if he can. Doesn't seem like it's working out as well as he might expect it to at this point here right about now. So let's get back on the overhead camera. Have a look at Vinci. He's still 2/10s behind Panda at the moment, and he definitely is going to try for it at the end of this straight as he goes to the side. Let's see if he's actually going to get the overtake done though. Actually does get up into 5th position. Panda is going to fight him back on it, but I don't think he's going to be able to at this point. He's going to try around the outside, possibly that final turn, or just chase him into turn 1. Let's see what happens. Cave Master, of course, pretty close between them there. He is still in 7, though. 10 gap, and I think these 3 are going to be fighting it out for P5 for most of this race, possibly here. Let's see how that works out. Ice One, fastest lap in the session here, 146, and not too bad of a time for him. Venom now takes that away as he's currently running 9th at the moment. Let's see if he can gain any more positions from what he currently has there. Smith now taking away that fastest lap away from Valen, and let's see what's going on out front. Out in front, we do have Lancer there, who is currently holding off on the lead of this race that he took from the start away from Phyology. And Ace, of course, went into 2nd place, took that away from West. He's holding on to that. West still holding on to a podium position here if he can, all which are on lap 4 of 12. This is a pretty short race. Then we're going to get into the feature race. I think that's about 16 laps maybe. Is it 14 or 16 laps? I really can't remember. Apologies for that. Let's just follow on through with this race. Going pretty well so far. We can keep Master. He's trying to pull a move on the inside. Didn't work out too well for him as he still has to hold on to 7th. Ice One following on with him though. Only 6/10 is where the gap is. So it's a pretty close gap between the two of them. Let's see how that's going to work as they get onto the back straight. Following on with Panda Gaming here. And I think he might get into that slipstream as Panda is trying to get into the slipstream of Vinci as they all pull on the outside of the track. And let's see how this works as they go into that bit of a hairpin there. And I think everyone keeps their position as it is so far. Looks like Ice One though catches up pretty well. The gap is now down to 3/10 for him. And he definitely is going to be looking into getting into a better position as we get into the next lap here. I guess the gaps have still closed up. We're still looking at Panda and Cave Master right about now, along with Ice One there. Still fighting for P5 in this race with just about a few tenths separating the 3 of them. As they still keep their positions as it is. We haven't really seen any much switches in terms of position switching going on between them. XFLG all the way down into 9. Did not have a good start in this race. And let's see how it pans out for him going into the feature race at least. I think that was Ice One going quite a bit wide there on the exit of that turn. Also down through the track still. We haven't seen, interesting enough, I'm not sure if we should say this, but because I feel like it's going to start to happen when we do. We haven't seen any penalties in this race so far. Let's see if we can have any by the time we get around to the end of it. So far so good as it is. And so still at least 1.7 seconds where the gap is. AC is bringing that down. We'll have to have a look at those two in just a bit. As we got Cave Meister now making a move on Panda. He gets up into P5. And he's definitely going to try to hold it on through as they get around that turn there. And yep, does actually hold it true. Ice One still following behind them in 7th. And I think he's getting a bit closer now as he's now following after Panda instead. Out in front, Ace has lost position here. Not sure what happened, but I think that possibly happened into turn 1 because he's trying to fight back for it here at the moment with West. Then the fastest lap there again, of course. Let's see how this pans out as Ace is right up on the rear of that high-tech car as he gets on through this current lap here at lap 6, halfway point through this race. And yep, he definitely is going to try to fight back for that position. And of course a dry race, as we didn't mention that, but a dry race all the way through here at this point in time. He's trying to find a gap on the inside. That gap closed pretty quickly, and that is Ace with a bit of contact. He spun around. Gonna be a bit upset about that as he now tries to get safely back onto the track here. Let's see, he's losing positions as we speak here. He's now down to 7th as he gets back through. Was looking for a gap which closed pretty quickly on him. Had some minor contact, I think, with West there, which caused him to lose the car. Spun around and now down into 8th place here on the grid was running in a pretty good podium position before this. Let's see what's going to happen as we get further on in the race. If he can build the positions back up, I'm not sure. Back with Ice One here at the moment. He's now up into 6th place since Ace is all the way down at the bottom of the grid. He's gained a position off of that. There's still 310s, less than 310s behind Panda Gaming, trying to fight him for P5 if he can. Cape Master up to 4, Vinci up to 3rd. West, of course, took away 2nd place from Ace as he got that position there. We got Panda going extra wide here. Might have been under a bit of pressure there from the high-tech cars. We now have Ice One into P5. He's finding his way through the grid and going on through. Lancer still leading this race by 1.8 seconds. Gap is dropping just a little bit, as we can see there with West chasing after him. Let's see how that's going to pan out. And it was actually still dropping when Ace was chasing after him. So I think Ace was looking possibly to get on for a P1 for this race. Of course, those hopes are now squashed with what we got going on. They were on lap 7 already. Unless a miracle happens at this point here, he might not be able to finish on the podium. Down in 8th, it's going to be pretty hard to get up all the way into 3rd if he wants to try for that here. So he might have to hold off right where he is and just trying to get a position or 2 more if possible. Valen is in front of him though, pretty fast driver out in qualifying, so let's see how that's going to work. Smith, of course, pretty fast driver in qualifying as well, all the way down to 10 though, still not able to gain any positions here. Didn't have the best of start, I think, in the race, so I think he just trying to just salvage what he can here in the sprint race and just trying to get an advantage going over into the feature race. We'll see how that's going to work out. So Lancer still leads, still a gap of about 2 seconds. We're still holding on to 2nd. Vince is still 3rd. Got Cape Master still in 4th, and I think everyone is just still right where they are. Valen, of course, having a 2:10 gap in a second ago behind Panda there. Let's see if he's going to try to pull and overtake down that back straight. Definitely will, as I think he's going to try it around the outside and does actually get the position up. I think he has enough straight line speed to pull that off, and he's going to hold off on the racing line. He's trying to keep that through his next target. Definitely is going to be Ice One. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull that off. It's only a 2nd is what the gap is between them. I think Farrell G just lost another position. He's down to 10. Smith up to 9th right now. I know someone took a pit stop down in the back there. So Smith gets the fastest lap so far. It's a 1:45.8. Pretty interesting view from the nose out in front of the car. Yep, so back on to where we are with these guys. So let's go back up to Cave Master at the moment. This is going to be a bit of a fight for the final podium position in the session. We're on lap 8 of 12, so we're coming close off to the end of this race. And we got Vinci into 3rd. Cave Master is only a 2nd behind him, trying to fight for that position. Valen is still under a 2nd behind Ice One, trying to fight him for P5 as it is there right now. Biology back into the pits. Ace holding on to 8, 1.2 seconds behind Panda Gaming. He, of course, is 1.3 seconds behind Valen as it is. Doesn't look like that's going to be gaining too much. We get on through with the Cape Master gaining some time here, dropping the gap below a 2nd. He's trying to get within DRS range of Vinci there to possibly get an overtake done as we're on the back straight here at the moment. He's trying to close the gap in as we get on down to the hairpin. Let's see if he can pull that off. On board here at the moment with Kid Meister as he follows on. The gap is now just a bit closer. He's about 5/10 behind of him. Let's see what's going to happen as he go into lap 9 now in this race. Very short amount of time left to get any overtakes on that need. Out in front, I think we got to have a look at this. Lancer is finally under pressure now in the final 4 laps of this race here from West. So the high-tech driver has actually caught up the Lancer. He's driven a pretty stress-free race so far for the past 8 laps, and he's now under pressure from West here, who is currently trying to keep his car within a 2nd to have that DRS advantage and potentially trying to get an overtake done and take away the race win here from him. Again, we haven't seen a single penalty in the session so far, so it's quite interesting. I think, gotta say, quite That's quite good on the guy's side in terms of driving here. But F2 cars as it is, you would expect quite a few penalties to be on the grid here at the moment, especially on a track like China. I mean, it's not that hard of a track, but still, some of these corners are a bit difficult to get through, especially with an F2 car. But they're doing pretty good of a job so far. We got Panda Gaming chasing after Ace, now up into 7. I think Ace gained that position recently. He's up into 7. He was in 8. Panda was in 7. They switched that. Panda, of course, 6 tenths behind, trying to gain that position back if he can. West here losing this fight at the moment because his gap is 1.3 seconds now. He lost 3 tenths. He's trying to get it back on the back straight, and we're about to go into lap 10 pretty soon, so he needs to put some more work into this if he does want to take a race win here at China for this. Guys, we're just interfering with the microphone just a bit. Yeah, the settings with that is actually working out. So far so good, guys. It has been quite an interesting turn in the session. We got our first penalty there. I believe that's with Cape Meister. Did he get a 3-second penalty? Yep, it is a 3-second penalty, which definitely is going to hurt his race at the end of this. Position changes as it is. Vinci has gained 5 positions. That's the most. Fallacy lost 9 positions in this race so far. As it is there, we got why is Fallacy on wet tires? That might just be a mistake on his end down in the back here of the grid. The tires that is able to running on down there at the moment. Let's get that off screen because we're not going to be needing that. I think Fallacy might be out of the session. Is he posted in the session? Yes, he is. So let's neglect that there at the moment at least. Valen here trying to get a move on Ice 1, and this is of course for P5. That's a 3-second penalty for Ace, who's now into 7, and with Panda Gaming behind him at 1.3 seconds, he's gonna lose that position that he gained, and there goes Valen around the outside of Ice 1, I guess, into P5. Not a bad overtake as he gets that done back onto the back straight here on lap 10 of 12 of this sprint race. Has the DRS advantage because he was behind before, and that's going to help him in terms of just getting through this sector of the track. We got, of course, Ice 1 trying to get on the inside and possibly get the move done here. Is he going to be able to get that done though? They're still trying to go a bit side by side on this, and I think Ice 1 has to hold back in P6. He's not going to be able to pull this off as yet, as they now go into lap 11 of the sprint race. Let's see what's going to happen. Final 2 laps of this race, guys, and it's getting a bit heated with Valen and Ice 1 here fighting for P5, of course. Out in front, Lance is still holding on to that lead against West there, who's now still 1.2 seconds behind. We got these two side by side, a bit of contact between them, getting around to sector 1, and looks like Valen holds out in front so far. The high-tech driver there, Ice 1, still trying to get it back, but it's going to be a bit difficult. Let's see how much he can push with those tires coming down to this close down to the end of the race here. I think he's definitely still going to try for this. Got 3 drivers so far with penalties. Oh, Panda Gaming got a penalty as well. Didn't even notice that. So that's going to save Ace a bit here. He is going to be able to hold on to P7 at the end of this session. And this depends on what Panda Gaming got, and if Ace gets any more penalties as well. Cave Meister, of course, with his own 3-second penalty, we know he got. Let's see if we can have any more. We close off this race in just a few minutes time here. But so far so good for the sprint race. We do go into the feature race just after this. We'll see how well that race is going to pan out when we get around to it there. There's still a bit of a fight going through with these two, Valen and Ice 1, as they get around. Ice 1 goes just a little bit wide there, and Ace, of course, chasing after him now, 1.9 seconds behind. Closes that gap pretty quickly here, but we're running out of laps in the race. We're about to get into the final lap, and I don't think Ace has enough time to actually try and get another position up here as Ice 1 tries to pull a move on the inside. I think they're still going side by side here though, as Valen still holds on to P5. They're going to be switching it back and forth. Let's see what happens as they go on through into the final lap of the sprint race here at China, and so far so good. Valen holds on to P5. Ice 1 less than a tenth behind him, just side by side going on through this. I don't think he was Valen on the inside, got Ice One on the outside. Who's gonna hold on to the lead for P5 as we get around to this? Looks like so far it's Ice One as he gets out of that corner, out in front, and I think he's gonna try to keep it. It's gonna be quite difficult. Ace now getting behind of him as well. He might start to interfere in this fight for P5. Of course, he does have a penalty. Even if he gets it, he still will lose it back. But still, why not fight first as he's going to get in through? But not going to be his fight. I think this is going to be between these two guys as he get on through. Out in front, West not able to close the gap to Lance, so therefore the lead of the race, who's kept it all race so far. And yeah, 1.1 seconds where the gap is. I think he's still going to push on through as much as he can just on this final lap to make sure he takes a win here at China. West, of course, having a bit of a difficult time keeping up with him in terms of getting gap under a second to get DRS advantage. Vinci 3/10 behind West, so I think he is getting a bit of pressure from Vinci there as well. Give myself, of course, another 2.1 seconds behind. He has a penalty, but Ice One being 9.2 seconds behind him, he's able to hold on to P4. Ice One and Valen's still going to be fighting for this all the way to the end of the final lap. Through the final lap here. Let's have a look out in front here as we have Lancer here about to get around the final turn and get across the finish line to take a win for the sprint race here at China. So he gets P1, not a bad finish for him. We got West takes P2 and Vinci is going to finish P3. Top 3 in the session so far. Cavemeister, of course, taking P4. It's going to hold on to it because Science One is about just 8.9 seconds behind with Valen chasing after him, gets across the line behind. That's 5th and 6th respectively for the two of them. And the gaming, of course, is going to come behind that. He got ahead of Ace, gets into 7th. Ace, of course, getting across 8. Now had a bit of an incident earlier on in the session. So not too bad so far in terms of finishing positions here. Quite an interesting race there for the sprint race here at China. Vinci, of course, gets driver of the day. Not too bad race from him. He gained quite a few positions and he started way down for the back in the grid and then gained quite a few positions as we gone through that. Let's get on through that there and we're gonna head straight into the feature race. So there you go, results there for the sprint race here at Shanghai. We got Lancer there taking P1, West second. We got Vinci third. That's our top 3 on the podium there. And then we got K-Master finishing P4. Penalty didn't make him lose a position because Ice One was about 8.7 seconds behind of him, who finished P5. Valen, who he was fighting with in the final minutes of the race, finished 6th. We got Panda Gaming just got ahead of Ace on that. They're finishing 7th. Ace, of course, losing a position again with that. They're finishing in 9th, with Smith finishing ahead of him in 8th. And we got FLG finishing in 10th. Rab, of course, did not get to finish the race, unfortunately. And it looks like fastest lap went to Smith there. And I think it was Vinci there for driver of the day. So not a bad session so far, guys. We're gonna just give the guys in the league a few minutes for them to get set up for the feature race, and we're gonna get straight into that there. So let's just give them a few minutes to get that sorted through. Okay, so here we go on to the formation lap for the feature race, and it's going to be 16 laps for that race. In the meanwhile, these guys get around the track here. Let's get everything set up in terms of what we're going to have on screen. So of course we're going to have that. Tires it is, let's have a look what they're on. So they're starting on the soft tires here, and I guess we're going to have them switch possibly down to the maybe the medium tires. We'll see what's going to happen with tire changes as we get through the session, but we're going to leave that off for the time being. Let's leave it on position changes to the start of the race as we usually do, And then we're just going to switch that off as they get started with the session itself. So on the formation lap as it is, starting grid here for the feature race. We got Valen starting P1, Smith will start second, Vinci starting third, Ice1 starts fourth, Panda Gaming starting fifth, Cave Meister will start sixth, Ace starting seventh, West will start eighth, Lancer starting ninth, Felgi starts 10th, and Rob there, of course, again, will be starting 11th on the grid. So let's see how well they get on through that. Getting through Sector 2 now on that formation lap. Should be at the end of it pretty soon. Pretty interesting battles there on that sprint race that we just witnessed them get on through. That's a little bit foggy on track there for some reason. I'm not sure why that's showing. Kind of weird, probably with the graphics maybe. Yeah, so we do expect some interesting battles here in the feature race as well. See how well the guys are going to get on through with it, as we should be getting started any minute there now. Everyone just doing a lot of weaving on that back straight there. They had a lot of room to do it as well, just to make sure the tires are all warmed up and up to temperature. Of course, the soft tires here going to be providing a little bit more grip, make the cars just a bit more faster as we get on this starting point of this race. Let's see how well they actually get off here though, because they might be trying to fight each other just a little bit more compared to what they did there in the sprint race. Let's see how well that goes off, as we have the cars now starting to reform back on the grid and getting ready for a 16-lap race here around the Shanghai International Circuit. Also, I think everyone's looking forward to that feature of getting onto your own grid slot on F122. Gonna be interesting. We're gonna be talking a lot about that on these streams as we get on through those new features that they have added on. And let's switch on to the overhead view as we now get started with this race. Lights are going on. We got 5 lights on, and here we're about to go. Let's see between Valen and Smith who gets a better run into T1, and they off pretty well. Looks like Smith gets a pretty decent start there though, as he's gonna go side by side, I think, with Valen into turn 1. And of course, Valen on the outside gets a better run going on through Ice1, trying to follow on with Smith though as we continue on through into turn 2 and getting to turn 3. So far so good. I don't think we have any major contact down at the back. I do hear some minor contact happening. Not sure what's happening there as yet, but we'll have a look at that in just a bit. Valen still holds on to the lead as Smith is still there in second. Ice1 gained a position. He's up into third. Vinci lost that position. He's down to fourth. Lancer to gain 4 positions on the start so far. Now trying to gain 5 as it is. Let's see what's going on here in the midfield at the moment. Let's get positions off track at the moment there. So it's a bit scrappy down in the midfield at the moment here. We're trying to see how that's going to sort itself out as they get through the opening lap here of the feature race. And so far so good. Ice1, Vinci, and Cave Meister trying to fight off for P4 there at the moment. Of course, Smith trying to follow off with Valen, of course, for the lead. Ace there up into P6 now. He's ahead of Cave Meister. Let's see what's happening. We might have some damaged front wings here in the mix at the moment. Let's see if we're going to have any stops getting into lap 2 as it is there right now. So on the back straight as they get on through this, let's see what's happening. Looks like West chasing after Cave Meister. He's trying to go side by side with him and now gonna follow on side by side with Ace as Cave Meister doesn't seem to have the straight line speed that they do. It's 3 cars wide going into that turn, and it looks like it's Ace and West trying to fight to see who's gonna come out on top of this one. Ice1 currently holding on to P4 as it is in front of these guys. Ace holds on to P5 as he gets out in front. We got West there holding on to 6. Remember, it was these two fighting off for P2 on the previous race, the sprint race, which caused Ace to have a spin, end up all the way at the back of the grid. So he is going to be determined to actually stay ahead of West on this one here and not allow him to get that position back. So far so good on his end. He's holding on to P5. A lot of people are pretty well. West there in P6, Cave Meister holding on P7 as he's trying to follow on through Vinci and Felgi. Pretty close gaps as we have it, because we just got started with this race. We're only on lap 2 at the moment. Out in front though, quite interesting enough, Valen and Smith only separated by about 3 tenths. So we might have to switch, have a look at what's happening with those two at the moment. It looks like Ace is trying to pull away from West right now. 1.1 second was what the gap is. He's trying to build a gap of over a second to not have him have the DRS advantage when that comes online in lap 3. And he's doing a pretty good job, but he's dropped it back a bit. West, of course, has got himself out of DRS range from P-Master there, so he's not going to have that advantage. Definitely have a switch out front. I want to see what's happening with Smith here at the moment, as he now chases after Valen there. And this is for the lead of the race, of course. I think he's just trying to keep it as clean as possible as they get around that turn. Gap is now down to just about 2 tenths between these two. See how well it's going to go as they get on through. Switching through with the fastest lap. Smith already has it there. He's only a 10 behind. Let's switch on the overcam, have a look at how this is working out for the two of them. He's trying to pull it on the inside because there's no gap there at the moment. But let's see if he's trying to go the wrong way around. He's following on through with Valen at the moment. I think he's trying to play it safe in the early stages of the race in terms of just chasing him for that position. On board we go again. Let's see if he's going to try for a move in terms of any of these turns, and doesn't look like he wants to take a risk right about now. He's just going to try to keep the gap within a few tenths. And looks like we got a bit of contact, possibly within Ice 1 and Lancer here. I'm not sure if there was any contact, but of course Ice 1 up a position which Lancer is now taking back quite easily, as he's still fighting it with Ice 1 though. Ace trying to come behind these two. He's going to try and gain a position here. He is, of course, 1.3 seconds clear of West, who's behind of him. As I said, determined to keep him out of range at this point in the race. Of course, we do have DRS online here right about now. Gap out front, just about 3 tenths. So some very, very close gaps we have here right about now. We're going to go down to Ace at the moment and have a look what's happening out front with Ice 1 and Lancer as these two swing side to side on the track. And we can see Ice 1 trying to brake very, very late. Almost goes into the back of Lancer and now tries to get the car back on track here. He's now side by side with Ice 1 trying to pull a move here, and he's up to 4th though, so not too bad, but that was quite a bit of a close one. Almost wrecking the front wing and putting that car into the back of Lancer's car. So far so good. Goes on through as Ice 1 on his tail going into turn 1 into lap 4 here though, so he has to be a bit careful with this. Took a bit of a risk there, but it worked out so far. Doesn't seem to have any damage on the car as Ice 1 is now forced a bit off track. Got Cave Meister there and West fighting for a position. Vinci, I think, in the midst of that, he just got into 7. We do have positions changing quite a bit down at the back there. Not sure what's happening. We do have a yellow flag there in sector 1, so something's definitely happened. Valen out in front, kind of follow on with Smith here. This is out the lead and it's getting pretty close between them. I think Valen is trying to just line Smith up and trying to get his position back here, back up the lead where he wants to go at this point. Smith got the lead away. I'm not sure which lap he did it on, probably on the previous lap there. So I think he's going to try and possibly keep it ahead on this back straight here if he can. Let's see what's going to happen, because we do have Valen who's going to be a bit in the slipstream of Smith here at the moment. He's trying to pull to the right side, trying to keep him out of that slipstream, and it's not working because the gap is coming down. And there he goes on the inside trying to get that done. But we switched to the wrong car there for a second. As they get on that turn with Valen still now, he's back out in front, trying to hold off on the lead as it is there. Smith still trying to fight him for it. So this is going to be an interesting one going all the way through. Lancer, of course, up into third. Ace still chasing after him, being chased by Ice 1, who's followed by Cave Master, followed by Vinci, and just a few tenths separate each of these drivers here. So it's going pretty well so far. In terms of gaps, I think Smith is the only one who has a bit of a gap behind of him. Ace now gets up into third. Let's see if Lancer is able to get that position back from him. Almost had contact between these two on the previous lap there. So far so good as they get on through. They're fighting through the through sector 1 of the track here. Ace desperately trying to hold on to that position as Ice One now comes alongside Lancer. He's up into third, fighting for a podium position at this point here. So definitely going to be pushing it as much as they can. Lancer, of course, holds back. Well, there's a bit of a switch between the two of them. Let's have a look what's happening. There might have been a bit of contact between Lancer and Ice1. I'm not sure. Or they just try to avoid each other as they get on through this current lap. Where Ace, of course, holding out in front of him in P3 now. He's going to try to build a gap behind these cars behind of him. If he can, we do have Cape Meister trying to get in the middle of this right about now. Sorry, Vinci trying to get in the middle of this. Cape Meister out in front of Ice1 by 5/10. Let's see how well that's working for him. I think he's coming under pressure from Vinci behind of him. I want to follow on, see what's happening out in front, because Lancer here still trying to keep up with Ace for P3. Of course, this is found the podium position in this session. He definitely will fight for this. Out in front, the gap has dropped by about 2/10. Or what it was, 2 3 10, what it was only at 10. It's down to 3 to 4 tenths between Valen and Smith, and that of course for the lead of the race in lap 5 of 16 as it is right about now. So still got a bit of way to go through this race. Let's see how well we can get through it all. Valen back down to second, though Smith, oh, he's in the pits. He's not lost that position as yet, so he's taking a pit stop. Let's have a look what's happening as we get on through with this here. We'll switch back to that as we come back around. Amsterdam now gets up into third. Ace is now up into second as they all continue on through. Lancer, of course, only a 10th behind Ace. He's definitely trying to get back up into second place, well, as it is going to be now. Was third before. Got a line of cars coming on through here, fighting, of course, for a podium position at this point. Let's see what's going to happen as Lancer here. He is pretty close still, but has some pressure from the car behind there with Cape Meister and Ice1 and Vinci all fighting for positions. So gonna get a bit interesting, might get a bit heated between these guys as they try to finish off this race. We're on lap 6 of 16, another 10 laps to go before we come to the end of this session. That does give us at least about 16 to 18 minutes of racing more to do, well, it's 15 to 16 minutes more of racing possible to get through. The gap is still down. Now it's down to about 2/10 between Lancer and Cape Meister. Let's see how that's gonna work out. So they do try to break just a bit late in terms of trying to get positions. Pretty good overhead view we got here of these guys getting around to sector 3 and on to that back straight on the track there. There goes Cape Meister. Is gonna try to go alongside Lancer here, and let's see how that's gonna work out for him. Ace trying to he's gonna get into the lead if he does not pit right about now, because Smith is now into the pits. Is Ace gonna go into the pits? And yes, he is gonna pit behind Smith here. So we got some pit stops happening right about now. Who is currently out in front? Looks like it's Ice1 taking over the lead of the race at this point here. So he takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. But Vinci now going up into second. Smith, I think he's in the pits. Now getting out actually. Quite a few pit stops happening on this current lap here. As we get into lap 7, let's see what's going to happen as they all get back out. Majority of the cars are taking pit stops here right about now. Of course, Ice1, Vinci, West stayed out. Valen there up into P4 now. A 9-10 gap between Ice1 and Vinci, and this is of course for the current lead of the race. I think these two still have to do possibly take a pit stop here, get out those soft tires, and let's see how that's gonna work out for them, because with a 0.8 second gap right now, gaps are starting to get just a bit further away from each other as we get through here. Okay, it's back onto this. So, with Ice One and Vinci out in front of the lead, still as they are. We're gonna go on board a bit with Vinci here, see what's happening. As he's trying to get back on the power as fast as he can here. 5 tenths is what the gap is between him and Ice One. He now goes into the pits. That leaves Ice One continuing out in front in the lead. West, I guess, will go into second here. Unless he's gonna go into the pits there as well. Let's have a look. And he's gonna take a pit stop right now as well. That's gonna put Smith into second place at this point in the session, with Valen following up behind him, Ace following on behind that, followed by Lancer, Cakemeister, Panda Gaming, Farrington, and Rob down at the back there. Switches on over at the moment. Where is Ace at this point in the session? He's being followed by Lancer, who's being followed by Cakemeister. We're gonna keep on with these three, as I think that's the closest gap we have at this point in the session. Let's see what position they're going to be fighting for here. Looks like they're fighting for P4 at the moment. Because as it have it, Ace does have some bit of a gap between him and Valen if he wants to fight for P3 to get onto the podium here. Looks like it's not a possibility of him having a podium in this session unless something happens out front. Then again, Ice One is still holding on to the lead out front, and I think he still has to do a stop. I don't think he's made a pit stop as yet. Let's actually have a quick look at that. Who's done a pit stop and who hasn't? So it looks like Ice One is the only driver in this session who has not done a pit stop as yet. So definitely he's gonna have to get in the pits and do that, and that's gonna put Smith up into the lead. Then we're gonna have Valen up into second, Ace up into third into the podium places. So I think that's gonna work pretty well for him. Yeah, okay, definitely he's still on the soft tires putting on through. Let's see how much more laps he can pull through on that as it is there. So still following over Lancer here, being chased by Vinci within a gap is where the within a second is where the gap is going there right now. Cakemeister, of course, half a second away. And there goes the attempt at a switch there, and they're still side by side with this as they get on through. So let's see how they come out by the end. So far it's Vinci out in P5. Ice One finally into the pits. And he is of course going to follow along the order. So Smith, as we said, is now in the lead of the race. We still got these two fighting for positions here. Cakemeister following on behind of them, so it's Vinci and Lancer fighting on for P4. Ace is now up into the podium places, so is Valen. He's up into second, and it's a bit of a gap. Let's see, it's 1.1 second between Vinci and Ace there, and that is of course for P3. Let's see if he can break the gap down. Of course, he's under severe pressure at the moment from Lancer behind of him, so I think he's a bit more worried about that right about now, instead of trying to follow on with Ace. But we're trying to do that still as we get on through the snap around lap 9 of 16 as we get on through here. Still got a bit of racing more to go before we come to the end of this session. And looks like Fiology has retired from the session there. He's out of this race, so we lost, I think, this one driver from the previous race with the DNF, and we've lost one driver here. I think it was it Rob or Fiology? I don't remember. But yeah, we'd have lost one driver here as well. We got 10 drivers still remaining in the session to go on through all the way to the end of this race, which hopefully they will be able to do, as it is there right about now. So still following on the Cakemeister here. He's chasing after Lancer there for P4. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this position or not. It's a 2-10 gap between them, and they're catching up to Vinci in front. Looks like Lancer went just a little bit wide there, but he still kept it pretty good going, and just about a 4-10 gap, which is we're gonna follow on with Lancer on P4. Looks like Ace is all the way down to P6. I'm not sure what happened to him, because he was running on a podium position there in P3, and he's now lost it. So something definitely happened. He's all the way down to 6. Let's see if he's going to be able to get it back or not. So these three looks like they're going to be fighting all the way to the end of the session. Maybe. Let's see what's going to happen. I guess it's still back on with this Cape Mine, so still 3/10 is where the gap is. They're trying to follow on through. The order as we have is Smith leading the race, Vane in second, Vinci running third, get Lancer in fourth, Cape Meister in fifth, Ace now running sixth. I'm not sure what happened to Ace, but he's all the way down here in sixth. And one was running third, we got West, and he's back with West. But West, of course, a big gap between the two of them, 14 seconds is what it is. He's running 7, Ice One running in 8, when we got Rob in 9, Panda Gaming down to 10th, with a big gap between him and Rob. So looking possibly finishing right where he is there. And I'll keep the see the camera angle back up here with Cape Meister and Lancer, see what's happening with these three as we get on through. As we said, they're fighting for a podium position here. It's between Vince, Lancer, and Cape Meister for P3. Who's going to take it down at the end of the session? But that guys, back on again there. So yep, on lap 11 of 16, and I think we're still following with the same battles down in the midfield, and we got a spin there. Who was that? I think that was Vinci there. He spun around, not sure what happened. He might have lost the car itself, and I think he just had just an accidental spin there. But he's now down to 6. That's gonna put Ace up into 5th. Lucky Duck gets a position up here. He's up into 5th now, and he's going to be chasing after Cape Master. I'm not sure if there was any contact. There possibly was some contact. We now have Lancer and Cape Master going at it here, and looks like Cape Master is going to get up into P3. I'll be very surprised if Ace actually still pulls off a P3 in this race. Still got some time. Let's see what's going to happen. So Cape Master holds on to P3 at the moment. Lancer down to 4th. Ace following him with 1.7 second of a gap. It's a pretty close gap between these two. I think there are just like a 10th between them. Less than a 10th as they gone through that final turn there. Now heading into turn 1. Let's see how close that's going to be between them. Cape Master just trying to hold on to that P3 position as much as he can here. I don't think he wants to give it back, but it's going to be a bit difficult. Keeping Lancer behind, of course. Ace now coming behind as well. 1.3 second is what the gap is. He's trying to get into DRS range. Hopefully can be able to do that by the time they get around to lap 13. It might put him in a potential position of getting maybe into P4. Not sure if he's going to be able to pull off P3, but it's going to be an interesting fight for him getting back up the grid order here. Definitely not sure what happened to him before. We'll probably find out a bit about that at the end of the race. So 5-10 gap now. Let's see how close this is going to be continuing on through. We are trying to follow on a bit by everyone as we can here. West here in 7th at the moment. 10 seconds of a gap between him and Vin. So he has quite a way to fight his way back up the field if he does need to here. It's going to take a lot of time. I don't think he has enough laps left to actually pull that off unless someone in front makes a mistake. Ice One down to 8th at the moment. 2.9 second gap behind Rob there. He is now running in 9th here at the moment. Panda Gaming running his own race down the back there. 27 seconds clear of Rob, and I think he's ghosted there as at the moment as well. We got Smith here leading this race by 8.1 seconds. Not doing too bad with that. And of course chasing him with that 8.1 seconds, and not having the best of luck in terms of catching up, but still on a good podium position here in terms of finishing this race. Cape Meister 13.8 seconds behind. Not much luck in terms of trying to catch up. We got Lancer chasing after him, so a lot of pressure from behind. It's a 3-second penalty for both Lancer and Ace, and I think they got it on that final turn on the chicane here. They probably cut it a bit too many times. Let's see, I think that's what happened. So Cape Master is going to be breathing just a bit here. We got someone with a spin. And who had the spin? Who had the spin? I'm trying to see who had the spin there. Either way, it's Ace up into 4th. I think it might have been Lancer there with that spin. He's trying to follow back on here. Ace right about now. So third position here for Cave Meister. Ace up into P4, but problem here is that he now has a penalty. He might still make it into P3, you never know, but that penalty is just going to cost him here. So 2.4 seconds for the gap is he might be finishing right there in P4, because Lancer are having a penalty as well. Got Vinci down by another few seconds, so as long as it's a 3-second penalty, I think they're both going to be fine here. But Lancer there needs to keep himself clear of over 3 seconds away from Vinci if he does want to keep P5 at the end of this race. On lap 13 of 16, just about a few minutes left before we close off this session. Gaps as they are and not coming down too much in the closing sections of this race. We got a 3.1 second gap between Game Meister and Ace, so gonna be a bit difficult for him to actually get rid of that going on through the session. Lancer here chasing after him still with a 1.6 second gap. Not sure how well that's gonna go through. We got Ice 1 and West. It's a 1 second gap between the two of them. Potentially a battle before this race comes off to a close. Let's see how well that's gonna go off with them. So far so good between teammates as they get on through it is, but still gonna be for points here, so let's see who's gonna finish in front of who. West currently in 7th, Iceland currently 8th. Both great drivers as they have it. Not sure their team orders on this in terms of them fighting for positions here, but let's see what's happening. So there's about to be a switch because Iceland trying to put it on the outside. I don't think he actually got through that. He might have had to let that position go. Just for now, at least it's not a 3-10 gap between them, so at least we do have a battle to follow down to the end of the race here, and I think it's going to be an interesting one as they get on through this, because we'll be into lap 15 pretty soon there with our race leader as he gets around the final turn now. So Smith has now entered into lap 15. Got Valen and I think Game Master just behind of that. They are now getting across the finish line into the penultimate lap of the race. As we now get on the back straight here with West and Ice One gap now extended to 1.5 a second between them. So not looking as great as we would expect in terms of gap to go down the end. Looks like Rob is out of the session. What's happening to his car? I'm not sure if we'll be able to see where it is, and I think actually we might if we go on to let's go on to Valen here. We might actually be able to see what's happened to his car if it's still on track. And there's it on the left side of the track there. What's happened to him, I'm not sure, but he's pulled over on the side of the track there. It's only a yellow flag so far, so I think we're gonna get on through the race fine as it is. Let's go on with Vinci here chasing after Lancer there for P5. He's starting to close a gap here on lap 15. That's about a second. Does need to get within a second if he does want that DRS advantage. Now with a 6-10 gap between them, and I think we're gonna get into the final lap pretty soon. First leader is about to get into that. I think we're closing off this feature race. Not too many battles down at the end of this one here, but still was quite an interesting race. We had quite a few interesting battles through the session as it was. I think overall the session went off pretty well. We're already into the final lap of the race here as our guys on the back of the grid are about to get across the line pretty soon to enter that final lap here as well. Race leader about to go into sector 2 on lap 16. Got a gap to go, trying to go under a second here with Vinci and Lancer in terms of trying to get P5. Let's see if that's going to work out. Final lap as they go on through. We got West and Ice 1 fighting for a position here. Of course, these are teammates. P7 and 8 is where they're at, and looks like Ice 1 goes pretty wide here. It's back on track, holds on to the position though, and tries to keep in front of his teammate. Let's see if he's gonna hold it all the way through this final lap as they get around here. Okay, so back onto this. Let's go on with Smith here as he gets across the line and takes the win for the feature race here at China, and pretty good win for him. So some pretty good points as well. We got Veiling coming across the line now for a second place here on the podium. Got Cave Meister about 14 seconds behind of him. He's gonna get onto the podium position as well and get P3. Of course, let's see what's gonna happen with the remaining positions there, because we do have Lancer in P4 coming behind, but he does have a penalty. And that penalty is definitely going to cost him as they get across the line with Vince just 5 tenths behind of him. Takes over P4. He's down to P5. Ace, of course, has the penalty as well. But Ice 1, I think, has a penalty as well. So that's going to even the two of them out. It's 6 for Ace, 7 for Ice 1. You got West here. He's going to take 8. And Panda Gaming already across the line, who took 9th in a race. Rob and Phyology, of course, DNF in the session, not able to finish. Overall, a great race in both races that we had, both the sprint race and the feature race. I think we enjoyed the sprint race just a bit more than our feature race. That was the day goes to Cave Meister there. Congratulations to him for that. Not too bad. We're gonna see who had the fastest lap there when the results just come about. So let's see what happened with that there. You should be able to bring that up. There we go. I wasn't able to move for a second there. I didn't realize why. Okay, so feature race results. We got Smith here taking the race with the fastest lap as well for that. And then we got Valen finishing second, Cave Master third on the podium, Vinci finishing fourth. Then we got Lancer in fifth, Ace in sixth, Ice 1 7, West in 8, and the gaming in ninth. Rob and Phyology, of course, not able to finish the session. I think it was Cave Master there for driver of the day, so not too bad for him. Weekend results. There it is as we went on through. So far, not too bad with the session as it is, guys. So thanks to everyone who joined on the stream there. Please, guys, make sure you guys leave a like on the stream, and I'll see you guys on the next stream there. So not a bad session. Any improvements, just send me a message on Discord, let me know. But yeah, we're gonna work on a few other things as we get into more streams going through the rest of the week and into next week. So thank you guys again for joining on the session. I'll see you guys on the next stream.